My people. Well, now welcome to the Phina Show today. As soon as Sabi, my name, now be Phina Brooks. Today, my people, today, we get some young people for here. My people, we get young people for here. Now we say, make we ask them, what did they happen with them? Safe for different part of them, because it good make we understand our young people. Because we know so we understand ourselves and the problems and the challenges when we face for our community as a people. But we still won't hear from the young people. Make we self understand how they themselves they feel. Because we need to find out as parents, make we know how they go with our children, our young women them. For my immediate left, I get my mini-me, the one and only Kendra Brooks, representing her young people. And next to her, we get her twin sister. Where did they call Amanda Okafo? Okay? Now my picking that one too. And then I get my sister, my sweet sister from another mama, the one and only Njideka Harris Eze. Me and her go they act as see as we sit down in on their sides, we they protect them. We say make we sit down with our children them, our daughters them. Make we understand them. So now make we invite all of them come, make we come here with una, make we come even share some of the things when the young people they face with una. Okay? So now welcome to the Phina Show.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm happy well because this is a very special show. Not only say my Pekin they here, but I get my other daughter and we just I won't learn I won't learn how young people they do things these days. Young women they do how them they fare, even for myself. Okay, so as I they learn, una too go they learn too. Okay, so my people them, my young women, Abio, I know they laugh me, but I understand. So what can be some of the challenges one that they face as young women and young women of color for community and for life in general? What will be some of the things one that they face, the challenges?
You want to go first?
You could go first.
I would say for majority of us, it's trying to navigate relationships. Like for me, I was born and raised here, but of course, my parents embraced or integrated the Nigerian culture into my upbringing. So there's always this gap where it's like, okay, how do you, they want you to be with someone back home, someone from their village, someone who speaks the language and understands them, but then there's those cultural challenges that happen, right? So, and then being with people here is also a challenge because a lot of the guys are not ready to settle down, they're not ready to commit. So it's just like, you just feel like you're in limbo.
Yeah, in between two cultures and trying to navigate yourself within the two cultures, right? Because even some of the young men too, una age, because they're never ready to settle down, and they're not a communicator well too with una. That's the one thing one that they notice too from waiting that they see from outside, because I know they that category again. So my Pekin, waiting be some of the challenges one that they face.
Like relationship-wise?
Any kind of challenge one that they face as young people?
I think for me as a woman, being someone who likes career and like education, and then also being soft as a woman and not aggressive with education, and still being like balancing the idea of being a woman and also being a career woman in this environment, because it is different than you think it is going into it. So it takes a lot of adjustment in yourself and like with other people.
Yeah.
So what's it be like as a mother, you know, I see the struggles sometimes when the young people they go through, even not just with my own kids, but with my friends' children or children in the community. So what's it be your take on this one now, Madam Njideka?
We had the privilege of not having the confusion when we were growing up, you know, when we dated and, you know, got our life partners and all of that. So you guys are in a very tough place. And to navigate it is going to be, you almost have to be like Houdini, you know, to navigate that, right? So we wish you a lot of fortitude. You will need it. But I'm very heartened when I hear you be very clear about what it is you're facing, because that means that the solution is round the corner. Because if we can identify what it is, then we can start to say, how do we deal with this specific issue? When it comes to marry somebody here or marry somebody from back home, it's, you know, I always say you tell yourself the truth when you look in the mirror. You have to, first of all, know that which you can tolerate. You have to know what you can handle. And you have to always be honest with yourself to say, I'm not going in here to change this person. This is who this person is. So if it's somebody from back home and they have their own, you know, the upbringing and their own principles and views on life, you have to be able to say to yourself, I am going to accept this. Whatever it is, I'm going to be good with it. But if it's something that you think that you might not be able to cope with, but you're telling yourself, oh, let's just keep going. I'll change the person. I think that is one of the worst things.
You know the
it's
work.
a recipe for disaster.
You know the work.
Yeah.
Because people na people,
Yeah.
and you know they fit change person.
Yeah.
Person personality na in personality for life. Na it natural to them.
Yeah.
So if na person a natural born liar, he go be liar. Okay. If he change for a short time, but you know the last, he go be liar. Okay. Anyway, my people, we they come back home. Now not go anywhere. We they come back just now. We go soon as soon.
When are we gonna stop singing about Africa?
My people, don't come back. Well, today we're there with the young women here for our community, and we won't get to understand what's in be the challenges of young women in the community here, what's in they face, and how we fit take advise them as mothers, because I get my sister here, Madam Njideka Harris Eze. Me and her, we on the side of these girls and all the girls for our community, our children, our daughters, all the daughters for our community. Make we take fit support them, at least even in a small advice we fit give them when you go fit help them, you know, for something that is a lifelong issue. I think it would be very important. So we won't hear from our young people. So now make we bring them come. We still get the one and only Kendra Brooks and the one and only Amanda Okafor for here. So my women. So make una continue to tell us, educate the people out there. What will be some of the problem? If now young men or even parents, some of the problems when parents know they understand, because we know say as African mothers, we feel not, because we not grow up here, we don't know some of the cultures, and sometimes we dey a bit hard. Maybe when I say a bit, some people say a lot hard. My picking goes say not a bit, a lot hard. I understand that, but at least make una educate us more for lots of the things when una want changes on, at least.
Go ahead. You first
I was just gonna say, like, if you are somebody and you need to have your priorities straight before being in a relationship or talking to people and wanting a relationship, because it's really easy to get confused and then lose what you're wanting to do, and someone can really mess with you very easily if you're not sure exactly what you want in life and what you want with yourself. So I think it's really important to make sure that you have things that you like to do, things that help you take care of yourself, and then understand your own worth, because some people are really confused, and when they come, they can bring their confusion to you, and then that can make you confused, and it's a whole mess. So
I like that you said that. Just adding on to that, I think talking about boundaries is a big one, right? Because I know in our culture, like, women from the time their children are brought up, you know, like literally my mom would say, oh, if you don't know how to cook, a man will never marry you. If you don't clean the house, and it's like, why is my self-worth based on whether a man will marry me or not?
Right.
You know? So you see it all the time where women are just dating, they're in relationships, but they're going to their boyfriend's house and they're cleaning his house for him and cooking for him. Like, you haven't even put a ring on my finger. Why am I doing all of that? Right. So it's very interesting, but it's like we're just programmed to believe that that's what you have to do to attract your husband. And then so many women find themselves in these weird situations where they've committed maybe 5 years doing all of these things for a man, who is not going to marry them, right? So
they don't waste 5 years of their life. Throw away them for
Exactly.
somebody who know what the trouble.
Go home and marry somebody in 3 months.
Right. Hey. Oh Lord. Oh Lord.
I have seen things in this life. That's all I have
Abi,
to say.
Abi. Now, true. Those are some of the things. Even me at the same as somebody when be say at least I don't hold small. At least But they good as soon as they table these things because the challenges for young people, especially young women, in fact, young men too, they very hard. Life they hard for at this time. This is not be easy time at all. What will be your take on this thing?
I don't even know where to start.
Okay.
But with what Kiki said earlier about knowing yourself, knowing your priorities, I think that is the start of wisdom. Because if you know what you want, then it's going to be much easier for you to be able to spot what you don't want. And anybody that tells us or tells you that you can't have it all is lying to you. There is no reason why you can't pursue the things that will make you fulfilled as an individual and also be in that loving relationship. So we all have to be very careful about people that tell us that we're not enough. Any relationship where you have to sort of entertain the person and work so hard to keep that relationship going, then you have to tell yourself that this is the contract you've signed, and you're going to be doing all of that hard work
for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
If you end up with that person.
If you end up with that person. So you have to be able to look for that person that gives you that peace. You don't have to feel like you're on a show. You have to entertain this person.
Yes.
You can just be you. You can just breathe. You can be quiet and not talk, and it's okay. And I think sometimes maybe we have to look at it from the point of faith, and say to ourselves that there is that person in this world that is made for us.
Right.
That's true.
So we're going to pray and say that let our paths cross, because there's like how many billion people in the world? Like 7 billion. Let our paths, and when the paths cross, let us recognize each other. I think that's where the whole beauty of it starts, because if it's the right person, even if you do horrible things, the person will say, "Oh, can you see how nicely she does this horrible stuff?"
Right. Your mess go they smell good to them.
Goodness, I just love the horrible stuff she does.
It's true.
So that's I think that's what sort of where you guys have to, and all our young ladies, let nobody tell you that you're not enough as you are. You are perfect. You are wonderful. You are the best.
Preach.
Yes.
Right.
And anybody that tries to beat you down, they should go deal with their own problems first.
Right. Not true.
Instead of just
Period.
Period.
Right. They talk and say now hurt people, they hurt people. So
misery
with
loves company.
we they come back home. But they come back just now. We don't want hurting us. Someone will not hurt us, okay? Go see with us.
When are we gonna stop singing about Africa?
Okay, my people, we don't come back. Today, we're young with our young ladies here. And soon we'll go talk to the young men too. But today, not for young ladies. Okay, we want to hear about how they live their life today, the difference when day, and what will be some of the advice we give them as mama and older people when don't go through that kind of life too. So here we still get our own Kendra Brooks and Amanda Okafor. Okay, make we continue to hear from them, and as they tell us their perspective on life today. So, what will be some of the other challenges one that they face when they even come to maybe relationship, or how people they view now as young women today?
I can say social media has become like the entrance of social media really has changed a lot of things, because you have access to so many people at the same time, and many people are doing different things on social media that attract you visually, and it can kind of skew the way like you're viewed. So sometimes you feel like even filters too can make you feel like I have to be like looking this way all the time, and then people have an expectation of you to look a certain way and to be a certain way, and then sometimes there's people that actually don't like that at all. So it's always again a balance about what are we doing with social media. And you can also talk to so many people at the same time. It's a huge thing where people decide to have like several almost relationships because they can talk to like 15 people on social media all day long and interact with them all day long. So it kind of like...
And at the same time.
And at the same time. So it's hard to focus on one person at a time. You only get a superficial understanding of people, and then you have that to go on, and it can be really harmful to like actually developing relationships. So
real genuine relationship. Yes.
Yeah, I think that's a big thing. I think also kind of just playing back on what we're talking about with culture, right? People are just competing with each other. Like, and that comes from social media, that comes from, you know, the aunties. I'm calling you people out. Please don't beat me, but yeah, like I think a lot of the times there's always, I'm sure every Nigerian child has heard it, oh, what about your mates? Your mates are doing this, your mates are doing that. And I feel like there's just a lot of pressure, right? So both career-wise, like if you are not a lawyer or a doctor, if you haven't aspired to, you know, a certain level in your life, then they'll be saying, oh, you're an underachiever. And then you now add the social media influence into that. And again, it's like, how do you even balance that out, right? So I think it's very detrimental when you think about it.
Not true you talk. Not true you talk. What will be your take on that?
This one has me puzzled. Because as I said, you know, we didn't grow up with social media. And it's a different world that you guys have to navigate. So for me, I think everything always boils down to us individually, right? So to be able to say, this is what I'm looking for, and focus on it like a laser, and just focus on that which you're looking for. So what's that saying again? The rolling stone that gathers no moss. That's that was like the saying that was in my head, you know, as Kiki was describing the fact that maybe you're talking to about 15 people and it's all very superficial, right? So you're not really gathering any real depth out of it. So everything, I think, boils down to us always saying, my time is precious. How am I going to invest my time? And remember, that time, once we give it out, we can't get it back.
Yes,
it's
that's
gone.
True.
Yeah. So being able to just sort of streamline a bit and just say, this is my area of focus, I'm going to stay in my lane, more or less. And then for the competition, I hear you loud and clear.
Yes.
I think all of us as mothers are, you know,
guilty
we're
of it.
guilty
We've
of
done it once or twice.
You know, there's this thing of, you know, we want to live vicariously or something through our kids, right? Stuff that we couldn't do. Maybe we want our children to be able to do that. And sometimes it can really get really stressful for the children involved. So I think this is for us then as mothers to always ask ourselves, you know, to put some of the brakes on and maybe focus more on what is this child's aptitude, what is their skill, what is their strength. Those are the things that we should be emphasizing and encouraging, and instead of comparing them, because the grass is always green on the other side.
Right. You don't know the kind of money when they put and the kind of money when they spend for water.
Absolutely.
Right. So my people, no not go anywhere. We dey come back just now. Today, we dey here with our young women here. Make we find out their perspective on life and everything in general, really. We won't hear from them. We won't know what's they go on with them these days, okay? But we're not going anywhere. We still get them here with us. Kendra Brooks and Amanda Okafor. And my sister Njideka Harisese. We dey come back.
When are we gonna stop singing about Africa?
My people, we did today with Kendra Brooks and Amanda Okafor and my sister Njideka Harisese. We won't find out how young women date today, how their struggles and how we fit take help them, advise them as mothers and elders in the community. So now, make we find some of it. Wait till me some of the advice you won't give us as older people and mothers, how we go fit take support on as young women to make una thrive better and do better for ourselves.
I think for me, I'm really big on conversations. I think that's something that lacks in our community, where it's not everybody, of course, but a lot of youth feel like they cannot connect with their parents. Like their parents don't understand them. Everything is just do this, do that, and that's it. There's no explanations. So I think it's okay to just have more conversations with your children, know where they're at, meet them where they're at. And yeah, I think that to me would go a long way.
Okay. Kendra?
I have to agree. I can't think of anything else. So, yeah, conversations and I don't know, not for parents necessarily, but for individuals is just kind of like spending time with yourself and enjoying your own time with yourself, because as long as you enjoy time with yourself, no one can ever disrupt your peace.
Oh, yes.
And so it's getting that inner peace and just living life.
Yeah, check in with yourself.
Yeah,
for sure.
So. Because if you not feel it with yourself, you get yourself for the rest of your life. In every day, you would always find outside things to make you happy, and it no go work. It no go work. So you have to enjoy being with yourself, living with yourself first before you can entertain another person in your life. That's right. What will be your take, madam?
I think our sages have said it all.
Yes.
I can't add any more to that.
That's right.
I've learned as well from listening to them, and I'm hoping that all of us can do better. I think we have the capacity to do better.
Right.
And with that humility to say I'm not perfect, I can learn as you go along, right?
Right.
Then life should be a whole lot better for everybody.
They say they stop learning, because as long as you breathe, you alive, you have to start learning. You have to continue to learn, because if you the day when you stop learning, another day you don't die. Okay, so for me, the advice when I would take is at least, yes, we need to, as parents, as mama them, we need to take them easy with especially our daughters. Sometimes we over pamper our sons, we did too strict on our women, our daughters. So we need to take them easy with them and try to because sometimes too, be good self, make me self turn the table around, make them they listen well. Because sometimes when you feel they know they listen, you go one day more, the tighter you go day more tighter or stricter or something, right? So at least make the young people they listen first before then they respond. Say, I know. Because when we feel say when they listen to us, then we won't need to talk too much or yell or raise our voices or something like that. So make una they listen to una parents. Listen first before una react. Okay, and of course, as parents, we need to do better by listening and checking in with the children. Now, we're going to talk today. That's the one thing I would take. One of the big things that I would take from this conversation: listening and checking in with the young people, young women and young men in our lives. So, do we want to teach us that today? And any final thoughts?
Waiting, I go say. I think we don't do well,
Right.
Yeah.
So anyway, when I do want to come see us today, we will soon, my people. Make a wave to the people.
Bye yo.
My people, we don't come back. We did today with Phina Brooks.
Yeah.
Might as well. I'll take that one again. Reset the time. My people, we did today with Kendra Brooks and Amanda Okafor and my sister Njideka Harris Eze.
When are we gonna stop singing about Africa?